this was an easy recipe. I like the idea of using the hulless popcorn. These are corn pops. It doesn't have, sometimes when you pop the popcorn in, it's really good, but sometimes you get the little hulls and, you bite into it and all that. So I like this is Food Club. I was glad to see. Yes, I was glad to see the Food Club brand. I know that one of the national brand has it. It might be Hanover. One of the national brands has it, and I was glad to see the Food Club, and you'll see they're nice sized pieces. But we're going to start the caramel mixture. I've got a cup of butter here. We've got a cup of brown sugar, half a cup of corn syrup, and we're going to put in, when this gets heated up and boiling, a teaspoon of baking soda. Kind of finish that off. Okay, there's our corn syrup. All right, and our brown sugar. And we'll let that get started a little bit. And here we've got our popcorn. And like I said, I like the nice size of this. And any roasting pan will do. And then we're going to put in some cashews. If you don't want cashews, you can use peanuts or, whatever, pecans, whatever you want, or just leave it out. You don't necessarily need to put the nuts in it. It works fine without it. Okay. So we're going to set this aside. This is all ready to go. We've got the oven on because we are going to cook that so it has, it's all baked in. Okay, I'm going to set the timer so we know what 2 minutes looks like. We've got this boiling. It's not hard because you don't have, with all this popcorn, you don't have like hard pieces. It all sort of absorbs into the popcorn, so you're just sort of covering the popcorn. And it was good. Like I said before, I like the hulless. I was afraid that when I made this, because it's so light, that if I poured this on, it would go, but it didn't. I was surprised. I thought, what am I going to do now? But it was okay. You just pour it right on. Okay, we're just, like I said, caramelizing this a little bit. This would make some nice caramels if we cooked it a little bit longer. No, if you were making caramels, you would. Okay, we're going to stir in our baking soda. That's that there. And it's going to get real foamy. Turn that off. Okay, see how it's lightened up and it's getting kind of foamy? That's what we want. All right, now we're just going to pour it over our popcorn and cashews. Uh-oh, I didn't spray the pan. Oh, well. I forgot. I'm so worried about the tag. I'm so worried about the tag in my shirt that I forgot to. Oh, well. It might be okay. All right, then we're just going to cover this. Be careful because this stuff is really hot, as you see that we were boiling it. But it goes on the popcorn real nice. I like it. It doesn't clump up. It mixes in real nice. All right. So we've got it pretty well covered. We're going to go ahead and stick it in the oven. You can. You could. Really could, but it gets better. That's why when I made this, I made one, this is one batch. And I took a look at it and I thought, oh, this isn't going to work. So I ran down, got another bag, because I thought this could be really habit forming. And our store manager was up here earlier. Oh, what's this? What's this? Because I had it spread out on the counter. And he tried it, and ate it, and I'm like, Ed, you're not going to leave me any for the class. And they're not going to be happy. Okay, we'll get this in the oven. We're going to set the timer for 15 minutes. We've got about 4 minutes, but we'll go ahead and I'll show you on the caramel corn. It's still, you know, the sauce is still hot and still spreadable. So you just want to keep kind of stirring this up so that we make sure that all the pieces are coated. All right, we'll put this back in for a little bit. Is to just plop it out of here, because as it cools off, it's going to harden up and stick to the pan. That you forgot to spray, because I know I'm not the only one that does that. All right. And this gives you one more chance to kind of mix it all up again. And I like to just spread it out on my counter like this. Whoop, whoop. All right. I'm going to break it up a little bit if need be. This looks good. Now, this is, to me, this is the best way to cool it, is to get it out. I know it says cool in the pan. I found that when I did that, you can see it's sticking to the pan, and this happens whether you sprayed it or not. Because I did one that I sprayed and one that I didn't. This is one I didn't. This is the first one I did. I left it in the pan a little bit, and that's what it looked like. So I think the faster you get it out of the pan onto a surface that can kind of cool that, you know, the better off you are. Now, the fun part begins with, I like to use this quick and easy chocolate coating. And we'll just, comes in little blocks that just pop out. And like I said, this is where you can come into the color melts if you like. We'll melt this in the microwave, but don't forget we do it slow. In fact, this looks, you can see, I've had this in less than a minute, and you can see it does not lose its shape. You see that? But yet, it's almost completely melted. So you have to, I don't know if you can see that, drizzle this on here. Make sure we get everything. And this doesn't matter whether the caramel corn is a little bit warm or it's cold, if you wanted to let it cool a little bit more. And you can, this is where you can really get creative. If you, like I said, you want to do white, you want to do red and green. No blue, but red and green and white and chocolate and whatever. Okay. So you get the idea. And then it simply breaks up when it cools and the chocolate and everything hardens. You just break it up and it comes out like this. So you can see we did white and the chocolate on here. I just broke it up. So it's got some big pieces and some little pieces and what have you.